What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Today what we got for you is a very interesting video regarding a small character that plays a big role in GTA 5. So, if you played the campaign, you know that it takes us on a wild ride through the hills of Vinewood all the way to the rugged shores of Paleto Bay. And along the way, we get to meet some very interesting and memorable characters and some that are not so interesting and not very memorable. And one character in particular that we meet pretty early on actually plays a big role in the GTA 5 campaign after the prologue. He's actually responsible for the whole campaign happening. So if you guys find the video enjoyable, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Help a brother out if you feel it's worthy of that. I'd like to challenge you guys to 2,000 likes on this video if you do enjoy, of course. And I just want to personally thank you guys for the continued support. We are on the road to 500,000 subscribers, so thank you guys. But with that said, here we are with the most important character in the GTA 5 campaign. So this character we're going to be talking about today is Kyle Chavez, or Kyle Chavis. There's two ways to pronounce this, saving myself the embarrassment, and I'm just going to use both of those. So he is the tennis coach in GTA 5. We meet him very early on, and what's crazy is there is a lot of things that you guys need to know about this guy and that you might find him interesting for the sake of this video. So he isn't just a tennis coach that appears briefly in two missions. We get to know a little bit about his life based on his Life Invader page. He's actually friends with Michael, so he is obsessed with sex and he's very depressed about his decisions in life. And we know this by a post from his mom. She says, "Hey, was it true the other night when you drunkenly called me and were crying about how depressed you are with your life?" And leading him to become a tennis coach. Like, he hates his job, but he loves to do the nasty with girls. So at some point prior to the GTA 5 campaign, Kyle was actually in a relationship with a girl named Alyssa McCallum. And she can actually be seen on his Life Invader page. And she says that she's breaking up with him after surprising him at work and discovering him having sex with a client. So this is his ex-girlfriend there. She calls him a pig. And later on, this girl, Alyssa, can actually become a booty call for Franklin after he buys the taxi company. She's a random fare that he picks up, and after this, he gets her number. So that's pretty cool right there, these little things. That was one thing that I actually didn't know.
Psychiatrist only recently rose to fame.
Follow this ass, honey.
The tennis coach is also neighbors to Martin Madrazo. He lives right in front of the Stilt house up in the Vinewood Hills. And his house is very run down compared to all the other places in his neighborhood. So it's implied that this is his house due to the amount of tennis rackets laying around the house. They are in the garage. They're scattered around the front yard. And in the backyard, we can actually find a bunch of tennis rackets once again, but also a machine that will shoot the tennis balls up that you can hit. And it looks like he was hitting it off of the back wall at his house. There's a mannequin torso. There's actually some interactive tennis balls on the ground that you can shoot with your gun and play around with, so that's pretty fun and something to do if you're just really bored. But yeah, this is the tennis coach's house way up here in the Vinewood Hills. And another very interesting thing we can actually find in his backyard, and this kind of strengthens his sex addiction claims, and these are some porn magazines that can be found just laying on the floor or on the ground on his back porch. So this is the tennis coach's house. It's a very interesting place, and what's cool is Rockstar never directly says that this is his house, but due to the events of the storyline and some of the miscellaneous items around the place, we can pretty much assume that this is where he lives. So how is Kyle Chavez important to the GTA 5 storyline? Well, he actually starts the whole campaign, and we first see him in the mission Complications, where sneaking into Michael's house as Franklin, Amanda and Kyle can be seen practicing her swing, or her backhand, I think the term is, and they are rather close to each other, and we can just listen into some of the dialogue, and they seem to be getting a little frisky. And really, who practices tennis in the kitchen of all places? So that's the first time we see Kyle in the storyline. The next one is in the mission Marriage Counseling, where Kyle is finally caught by Michael sleeping with Amanda. And before Kyle can explain himself, and I'm not really sure how you can in this scenario, but Michael goes into a violent rage and threatens to kill Kyle, forcing him to jump from this balcony in his cheetah or leopard underwear. And in desperation, Kyle flees to Martin Madrazo's house of all places, which is actually across the street from Kyle's house, as we stated before, causing Michael to tear down this mansion deck in just a violent rage. Kyle calls Michael after this and tells him that he got the wrong house, and that is not where Kyle lived. So this is where we receive an unfriendly visit from Martin Madrazo. This is where he's introduced to us, and later on, Amanda's actually going to call Michael and reveal that Kyle has fled Los Santos to get away from Michael, and this is also something that we could see on his Life Invader page. So what makes Kyle responsible for all this? Well, with all the stuff I stated before, if that hasn't convinced you enough, let me break it down for you. So despite appearing briefly in the 2 missions, Complications, and Marriage Counseling, and being 100% harmless, not a threat to the player at all, he's not crazy, he's not psycho, he just simply slept with Michael's wife. He causes a domino effect of things to happen throughout the storyline. So, firstly, he sleeps with Amanda. Michael gets mad. He tears down the wrong house. He meets Martin Madrazo. He has to pay back $2.5 million to repair this mansion and this deck that he destroyed. This forces Michael to reconnect with Lester and come out of retirement, set up the Vangelico heist and rob the jewelry store to get money to pay back Martin Madrazo, to be contacted by the FIB and Dave Norton, Michael's contact who allowed him to fake his death and everything that happened in North Yankton. And lastly, for Trevor to discover that Michael is in fact still alive and that he faked his death. So all of these events transpired because of the tennis coach. And from all those events that I broke down, that led to everything else happening in the storyline. All because of a simple tennis coach sleeping with a psychotic 40-year-old dude's wife. All because of that. That's like the simplest thing ever that led to the most intricate things happening and all these crazy things. But without this guy, I'm not sure how the GTA 5 campaign would have played out, because if you take the tennis coach away, Amanda never slept with this guy. Michael never met Martin Madrazo. That didn't lead to the Vangelico heist, to Trevor, FIB, all that stuff. So it's crazy to think, and I know I'm repeating myself, that all this happened just because of the tennis coach, but I thought it was very interesting, and I did want to share it with you guys. So if you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I'd like to challenge you guys to 2,000 likes. I always like talking about this topic and telling people about it, because a lot of people don't realize that like something as simple as this guy caused everything to happen. So thank you guys for stopping by. It looks like that's all the time we have for today. Be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, never miss out on another daily video game upload. Thank you guys for the support. My name is Zach Cox. Thank you guys for stopping by. Take it easy, and I will catch you guys in the next video.